Welcome everyone to the Home Pizza Making Idea Exchange, the first YouTube Live. I'm going to be interviewing my good friend Rob Cervoni of Taglio Pizza out in Long Island. Welcome,
What's
Rob.
up, Serhan?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here.
So you're gonna teach me how to make your style of pizza, right? Your Roman, one of your Roman
What?
style, one of the Roman style pizzas, and you're gonna kind of walk me through this. We're gonna make
Yeah,
pizza together,
I'm
right?
gonna pretty much. I'm gonna walk you through. This is really an at-home kind of situation. So, what we're doing here is trying to get people to introduce Roman style pizza into their kitchen at home, and make it not as scary to approach it. And I guess you made some dough, and we're gonna go through the steps of doing it.
Yeah, that
Cool,
is what we're gonna do.
awesome, bro.
Before we get into that, how about you tell me a little bit about you, your pizza career, your shop, and about for people who are watching.
Yeah, man. So
Those who's not familiar.
yeah. So my name's Rob. I own a pizzeria in Long Island called Taglio. It's Long Island's first Roman style pizzeria. Um, I opened it about 5 years ago. Massimiliano Cervera is the guy who taught me how to make the pizza and everything. So he flew from Spain to teach me. I spent 2 to 3 weeks with him, and then we became really good friends, and we actually started training around the country and really worldwide on how to make Roman style pizza. Mostly for professionals, people who want to implement it into their pizzeria, or to who are looking to open up a pizzeria. So that's kind of my background. Background growing up, worked in a pizzeria, fell in love with it. When you're in pizza, you become a pizza lifer, as you know, with your parents. Having a pizzeria, it's you kind of just adopt it, and it becomes your life. It's either you have a passion for it or you don't. So I, for one, had somewhat of a passion for it. So that's kind of my brief background for those who are not familiar with me.
And your passion has taken you towards this particular style. We were on this Roman style, but for people who don't know, there are different kinds of Roman style, correct?
Yeah, so as far as Roman style goes, there's kind of like three different branches. There's Pala, and then there's Telia, and then there's Tonda. Tonda Romana is completely like a different thing. It's very similar to Chicago thin crust or tavern style pizza. So it's super thin, cracker like, and that's also a Roman style pizza. But the Roman style we're talking about today is Intelia, which is the pan, or al taglio by the slice. It's higher fermentation, a little bit thicker. Um, the higher hydration. I'm sorry, longer fermentation, up to 96 hours. You could do 80% hydration and above. And what you're looking for is crispy bottom, crispy top, uh, beautiful crumb structure in the middle, soft in the middle. And then really you could put any toppings you want on it. So you could get super artisanal with it. You could get super traditional like a margarita. But there's no right or wrong way to top the Roman style pizza, which is what I love. So pala is cooked directly on the stone. So it's a long, like 3-4 meter, dough ball that's stretched out, and baked directly on the stone. So completely different. Actually, a lot of people confuse pizza metro with pizza talia, pizza impala, and
So
actually
they're different,
they're very different. Yeah. So pizza metro is a Neapolitan thing, right? So
really.
it's Neapolitan dough stretched out by the meter and cooked in a wood fire oven. So it really gets me crazy when people call Pala Metro, because I guess on Long Island it became a thing, but they're
It could be a
completely
meter
different.
long, right?
It could be a meter long, but it's a Neapolitan thing. Pizza Metro. So Pizza Pala is Roman. Pizza Metro
Got it.
is Metro needs to be cooked in a wood fire oven. So just FYI for everybody out there listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're doing something different today. We're doing
We're doing
your,
something different. We're gonna do it in a pan. I think you have a Detroit style pan, right?
yeah, I have a Detroit style pan. So I guess for people who don't know, for Neapolitan pizza, there's an organization that kind of regulates the rules for this. For Roman style, I don't think there's the equivalent, correct?
Mm-mm. We're actually trying to work on that. Through Caputo, trying to come up with a standardized Roman style recipe with direct fermentation. So we're working on that. But yeah, no, there is no standard for it right now. So, it's a free for all. People use Poolish, people use Biga. I go straight direct long fermentation. So there's no right or wrong way.
So I could use a Detroit pan. There's nothing
Look, you're
stopping
not
me.
supposed to, but it's a pan, right? As long as the dough's in there, you could call it a Roman style pizza, and you could bake it in the pan. I prefer the blue steel pans. The full pan is 60 by 40 centimeters, and the half pan is 60 by it is, what is it, 20 by 30.
Okay.
So those are the half pans. So, I prefer for your home, you need to use the half pan because the 60 by 40 just won't fit in the oven.
Won't fit,
So you
right?
got to use the half pan. Yeah, yeah, you need the half pans.
Hey,
Um,
you talked about hydration earlier, right? So
yeah.
for people who don't know, right, like hydration is the amount of water in a dough, and the wetter a dough gets, the more difficult it can be to handle, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. So Roman style is 80% above is really the standard. I think 80% is kind of like the standard number at this point.
mhm.
With that being said, the more hydration, the more difficult it is, the more you have to be really delicate with it and do your folds to strengthen it and use the proper flour. It's just one of those things that it comes with practice, right? Whenever you use a high hydration dough, practice makes perfect. So don't get discouraged the first time using it. It is a little bit more difficult to use. But with that higher hydration dough, you get a lighter, airier, crispier product, easier to digest. So, I prefer all my pizza to be high on the higher end of hydration, whether it be, New York style, Neapolitan, or Roman.
So for your pizza, right, you're baking it in not a gas oven, which a lot of people might be familiar with in a New York style pizzeria. It almost looks like a tank, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like
So
steel, right? Metal, but
yeah,
you're using
yeah.
something completely different.
Yeah, so I'm using a electric oven.
Mhm.
So electric ovens are becoming super popular here in the United States. They're really, really, really popular in Italy.
Yeah.
Most Roman places use them. I have a Castelli, which is like the king of Roman style ovens. Um, the beauty about the electric oven is you could control the top and bottom heat, right? So there's settings for the top, and you could basically push the percentage of the power to the top or the bottom, or you could have a mixture. So when I bake in my place, I'm at 600 degrees, and I use 60% of the power on the bottom and 30% at the top, right? So you want 30%, 60, and that's kind of where I get my best bake.
So you have
So
more on the
you know,
bottom than the top.
so yeah, because you're using the pan, you want to push a little bit more heat to the bottom,
Okay.
because you're cooking a pan. If you're
Right.
cooking directly on the stone for a pollet, it's reversed. It's typically 60 on the top and 30 at the
Really
bottom, or sometimes like 80 at the top and 10 at the bottom. Really depends on your oven. So it's reversed.
interesting. I'm gonna be making my uni, which is electric. And you can kind of adjust the top and bottom heat of this. So I have it higher in the top right now, but I'll adjust to the bottom. So a little more on the bottom. Um, Let me get my dough out. Talk about this real quick.
Oh, it looks great.
So this dough I made today actually using I used a Polish, and this actually has about 30% Polish. Just because I don't have that extended
Hmm.
fermentation that you have with like your
Yeah,
Roman
that's
style,
okay.
right? You
Yeah,
do
that's
like a
okay.
direct and you do like a couple of days. This is kind of trying to mimic that, right?
Yeah.
So um, this is not as wet. This is 75% flour, so it's like it's all kind of relative. Um, help me get this out of the container. What can we do?
Okay. So the easiest way is to just take the whole container and flip it up. So throw some flour on your dough ball, just right
On the
into
dough
the
ball.
pan. Yeah, throw some on the dough ball just to coat that get that first
And
coating on it.
how about on the bench?
And then yeah, so once after that's done, then you want to move that, and wherever you're going to stretch it, you want to put some flour on the bench, directly on the bench, and then we're going to flip the dough tray right over, and the dough balls will just fall out perfectly onto the bench.
Good here. Out of the way. Is there tight quarters? It's not like a pizzeria. Although some pizzerias have not a lot of space.
Yeah, but you got plenty of room there.
Yeah, right. Enough
So you want to do a
space.
very, very healthy amount of
Right.
flour on your table because, like I
Because of the
said,
wet dough, right?
because it's wet. So for people making it at home, go crazy with the flour because it'll really help you in the end.
It's really good here. And I should probably so what about oiling the pan?
So yeah, so once you have you're ready to stretch, you want to take a brush and throw some olive oil on the pan and just brush it on the bottom of the pan.
Do that real quick. It's interesting because this is not unlike a Sicilian that people might be familiar with. Where when I think Sicilian, I think oiling to manipulate the dough, whereas here we're using flour.
Yeah, yeah, flour. Flour just makes it easier, less messy with the oil. Some people do use, oil after they get it into the pan to help manipulate it into the pan, but I prefer flour. I actually use rice flour. I think it gives it a little bit more crisp. It dries it out
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, just pretty popular with bread making as well.
Yeah.
Okay, moment of truth. Just gonna flip this right on.
Flip it over, man. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just gotta be quick. Boom. Done. Perfect.
There we go. Let's use which one you think? Maybe this one in the middle. Let's get this one out of the way.
Yeah, you can get one out of the way. Whichever one looks better to you. They both look great.
Can I leave? Can I leave it? Like, what do you usually do once you have?
You could leave it if you feel you
Yeah.
have room. You could leave it. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Let me do that. I have this space here. Maybe I'll just flour there,
yeah.
and once I start,
So
here,
you could flour
I
there.
could flour the dough ball.
Yeah, flour the top of the dough ball, and you could flour there. And what you could really do, it actually sometimes helps me, is you could take that dough ball and you could actually flip it onto that flour. So you don't have to just slide it over. You could actually just flip it upside
Let's do
down
that.
onto that flour, and then you could stretch from there.
Right. There we go. There we go.
There you go. Beautiful. All right.
Let's do that. What do I do?
So now you have your dough. What you want to do
Mm-hmm.
is you want to start with your fingers like a piano, and you want to
Yeah.
start on the outside rim because you don't want a crust on this. You don't want it to crust. You want to go all. You want it to be even throughout. So you're going to
Even.
start, go
Okay.
around,
So
and
here.
then go
Right.
up through the center, around again, and then spread your fingers all the way out and go all the way up.
Without pressing it, kind of
So
like
don't.
that.
Yeah, yeah. You don't be scared to press it pretty good. Typically, if your dough is stronger and colder, you could press more. If it's really starting to let loose, then you want to press less.
Got it. Okay. Here
In
we
this
go.
case, your dough looks pretty strong, so I would don't be scared to press pretty hard
All right.
and dimple it.
All right. And now
So you get on the side. So now go up through the middle
middle, piano, and back down.
and back down. Yep.
There we go.
Perfect. All right.
All
So
right.
now it's a little tough for me with not demonstrating. So now you want to put one arm straight over the top of the dough, and then
Okay.
you want to grab the corner of it and flip one end onto your arm, pick it up, pat it to get that excess flour off,
Kind of like
slide
that.
the other arm underneath. Yep. Slide the now pat the excess flour off, slide the other arm underneath, and just get it up on the other arm.
Not crossed. All right. You know what? I'm left-handed. Maybe that's
Yep,
I'm
there you
just gonna
go.
do.
That's that
There we go.
that works. Right? And now just give it a little shake and you could go right into the pan.
All right. So I used a 19-ounce dough ball for this. This is
Okay.
a 10 by 14 pan.
So typically in the half pans, I use about 650-gram dough balls in the half pans, and for a full Roman pan, 60 by 40, you could do 1.3 kilo.
So I'm finding that because this is like manipulated with flour, it seems like it's a little easier to work once it's in the
It's
pan compared
yeah,
to
yeah.
like an
Once it's in,
oiled.
yeah, it's much easier once it's in the pan. The goal here is to keep it as even as possible. And the one pet peeve I have is when I see Roman style pizzas baked and the corners go in and they're all rounded.
Yeah.
You really want to get a good 90-degree corner. So make sure you pull your corners really good, and then you could actually push your edges down into the pan to make it hold.
Okay.
And then once you have it in your pan, you could actually take your fingers like this, and you could just dimple it a little bit, like
So
like
can I just like
this.
push into the
Your
corner with my
hands.
finger like that?
Yeah, you could put. Yeah, you could push the corners down. Um, you could push all four down, and then you could
Okay.
just dimple the center of your dough with your hands.
So kind of like that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could like manipulate it a little bit. That'll give you a little bit nicer crumb structure. There you go. So are we doing we're doing a margarita pizza today?
Yeah. Let's do margarita. I got some sauce here. I got
All right. So the best way to do a margarita is, and with Roman style pizza in general, is to par bake, right?
right.
So what you want to do now is with this size, you take a couple ladles of sauce, and then you spread it around. I use my fingers with a glove, but in this case, you could use a spoon. You spread it around. Really as much sauce as you like. You could put more or less, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. And this will bake probably about 10 minutes. So we'll do 5 minutes and then turn it, and then bake it another 5 minutes. Um, the reason we bake it like this is it's a 10-minute bake. So typically if you cook your mozzarella for 10 minutes, it's gonna darken and turn black. So this is just a way to get this pizza cooked fully, and then you put your heavy wet toppings on top and then bake it. It'll lend to a crispier product, um, and give it more structure. Roman style pizza is meant to be reheated, so don't be scared about cooking it, then reheating it again. Every time you reheat it, you're gonna get a crispier product. It's gonna be better.
How far to the edge can I go with this?
I go all the way to the edge. You just don't want to
Yeah.
touch the pan because the sauce will burn
I'll
in the
burn,
the
right?
burn to the pan, and then it'll make the dough stick inside.
Got it. I've been looking.
Looks good. I mean, you can put more or less. It's really up to you. It's a user's choice.
And your sauce, you're just using simple tomato, salt.
Yeah. Yep. I use Chow Authentica, so it's a pre-milled sauce, no seeds, no skin, and
Okay.
then I'm just adding 25 grams of sea salt per can, per number 10 can.
All right.
So
We're ready to pop this in.
yeah, it looks good. Before you pop it in, I would pull your corners one more time just to be safe, because it looks like they're starting to curve in a little bit. So you don't be scared
Like
to
that.
pull yet. Give it a good pull and then just drop it right into the pan. Perfect, dude.
There we go. Let's go into the oven. I'm gonna start at 650, and then once it's in, I'm gonna go to 600.
Okay.
5 minutes. Cool. Cool.
Someone was detected at your front door ring.
Uh-oh. Is that you?
Yeah, that was me. Someone's at my front door, I guess.
They're like they want the Roman style pizza.
Yeah.
So I guess you do margarita shells like this, and you do blank shells. Is that
Yeah.
what you do?
So my place, everything is par baked. It would be too difficult to cook everything from raw. You do get a little bit of a different kind of product when you cook it from raw. Um, like meaning when I say from raw, I'm meaning with toppings on it. So like
Hmm.
so the only thing you really want to cook from raw with the dough is like a crostino romano, which is where you put there's no sauce on it. It's typically cheese and pancetta or ham or something like that. Where you're making a crostino. Um, but my at my place everything is a white base or a red base. So with the red bases, you could do your traditional margarita, or you could do a burrata pizza. Anything that has a red sauce base, we do it like that. The other way is the white base, where you're just baking this like exactly what you did. You're just not adding sauce. You're just adding a little bit of sea salt and olive oil, right? And from there, you could use that to make sandwiches. You could use that to make a white pizza, truffle mushroom, anything that doesn't have a tomato sauce. You could even just use that as bread. You just top it with a slice of mortadella and some burrata, and there's your pizza. So it's a very versatile pizza as far as toppings go. If you want to do this at home and you're having like a dinner party, you could get this all ready and you could par bake. You say, I'm going to do a margarita, a pepperoni, I'm going to do a white. You could par bake all your shells before your guests come. You could have them ready, put them in the refrigerator. Then when they come, you top them with your toppings right into the oven for 3 to 4 minutes. You take them out and they're crispy and they're delicious, and you're ready to rock and roll with like little mess.
I love part baking. Like
Yeah.
logistically, it's a dream, right? Like you're front loading all the work, and then
Yeah, man.
when it's game time, you just
It's great,
rock and
which
roll.
I'm surprised no one has done this yet, but it's really great for a catering concept or even a pop-up, or like at home catering, right? Because if you have a pizzeria, you could at your pizzeria or at your home all night just par bake, par bake, par bake. Then you show up to a catering event for 100 people, and you have two uni volts and you're just finishing them off. You don't have to stretch
Yep,
anything. You don't have to do it. You have all this stuff prepped, and you could even freeze them with the toppings on. And then you
yep,
could take them out of the freezer, if you want to have a quick, easy dinner for your family one night, take it out of the freezer with the toppings and cheese already on it, frozen,
yep,
pop it in the oven,
yep.
you know?
Now, believe me, I do part baking for a lot of my events, and I think
Great.
I find that it even creates at times a superior product. I don't know if it's because of
A
maybe the
hi-
curing that goes on. Um,
100%. A crispier. I think it's always going to be
yeah,
crispier, always going to just have more flavor. I don't know. I don't know. It's
yeah.
just a
I mean,
better
there's
product.
something to be said about something being baked all together, right? Like the Detroit style, you
Yeah.
have places that bake everything together. It's different. It's not like better or the other,
It's
but for your own sanity, if you're doing an event, right? You don't
yeah.
want to like monitor the dough and use extra time for baking.
Yeah, I mean, look, when sauce and cheese is baked together, there's nothing better than that, right?
Yeah,
Like when it's all cooked from raw together, those flavors mend and like meld together, and it's great. But there's something to be said for par baking also, like Sicilian pizza or Roman or whatever. I think it's just a different thing.
yeah. No, I agree. Um, this is why I don't try to like conform to any rules. Like if there's a benefit I see there, just like I'd rather take the benefit.
Yeah, whoever started making up rules for pizza kind of kind of ruined the whole thing, you
Right?
know. But whatever.
So we're about how many minutes in here? We got it's almost 5 minutes, and we're gonna rotate. So I had
So
to
we're
set
live.
one more
What'd
time.
you say? No, you go ahead. That's 5 minutes. So now you just want to turn it.
Just want to turn it. You guys a quick peek right here. It's like
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, turn it. For 5 minutes, I'll be ready. So we're live on YouTube right now, right?
that's correct.
That's awesome. Hello, YouTube. I hope people are watching.
Of course they're watching. There's Rob Cervoni, Taglio Pizza.
Yeah. Serhan, you gonna be going to Vegas for the Pizza Expo?
Probably not this year.
Wow,
I'm
everybody I talk to is not going this year.
there is we're going to Turkey in April.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's much more fun. Pizza
Yeah,
Expo.
so I'll be. But you know, that area, right? The Fertile Crescent is kind of where grains and like wheat started, right? So
Yeah,
there's you can kind of think of it
that'll
as
be
like
a
the primordial soup of pizza almost, right? Because that's where
that'll be a
wheat started.
fun trip. That's a
Yeah,
perfect trip for a guy like you.
yeah. So I
Yeah,
haven't
you.
been since 2007, and you know back then I didn't really have like my pizza brain
Yeah,
born yet. So I'm gonna be going there with that mindset and
cool.
kind of seeing they have all kinds. There's so many bakeries in Turkey and so many
Yeah, I
wood-fired oven
saw
places.
I saw a video of a super hydrated dough. It almost reminded me of Roman dough,
Mhm.
and they would stretch it out and pop holes in it, and then cook it on pebbles.
So that's from Iran.
Oh, it's
I
from
think it's
Iran,
called
not Turkey.
sangak. Yeah, you know they have similar breads, but I think it's called sangak, which I think means pebble. Um, yeah, they lay the dough and the oven has
Yeah,
like pebbles on it, and
that was a
you
that was
get
a
kind of like
cool
this
concept.
interesting. Yeah, there's that's what I mean. The rules, right? It's just like you kind of like box yourself into like okay, these are the only parameters that we're gonna think about, right? And then
Yeah,
you know, what if someone made pizza on pebbles like that? You know, there's
I
all
think
kinds
it'd
of
be.
concepts we haven't
I
like
was I was
explored.
thinking of that myself.
Like how cool would that be?
Yeah, no, that I think that would be cool.
All kinds of ideas. We're pineapple. I don't
I
know.
wonder if anybody is making that in like Manhattan. Is anybody doing that type of?
um, not that I know of. There are a couple of Persian restaurants,
Yeah,
but in terms of that bread, there might be maybe in like Great Neck. There's a large
yeah.
Persian
We're getting
community.
way off topic, but it's all good.
It's baking, right? It's baking.
Yeah,
The Persian Empire, the Roman Empire.
yeah. Uh,
So we're gonna top it with our mozzarella.
yeah. So we're gonna top
Okay,
this
but we're
with
gonna cool it first, right?
we're gonna let it cool on a rack. So
Hmm.
let's let it cool for 3 minutes. Let the crumb structure really set in place. Um, then we could go on. You could go on with any toppings you like. In this case, you could chop up your fresh mozzarella, put that on there, a little pecorino, and you're gonna pop it back in the oven for about 3 minutes. That 3 minutes should be enough time to let the mozzarella melt just a little bit. And then you can take it out, cut it, and finish it with a grated pecorino, parmesan, and some basil.
So the time parameters we gave are good for, you know, I have access to ovens that go up to like 600, 650. Most
Yeah,
home ovens have like the stovetop, you know, they go 500, maybe 550 max, right? So you
yeah,
would probably
yeah.
need a little more additional time, right?
So when I did Chopped, I actually had to work on a baking in a home oven. So I found that the in a home oven at like 500 degrees, you have to put it all the way at the top rack, and it's about a 14-minute bake. So
Hmm.
it's about 4 minutes longer. Um, Not very similar results, but very as close as I could get it.
Okay.
But yeah, so at home in your home oven, about a 14-minute bake.
Yeah, you can make some incredible stuff at home. I think people don't realize. I think
Absolutely.
because they're trying to achieve like New York style Neapolitan, when like you have great access to Sicilian, Roman, Detroit, a
Yeah.
couple other
I think
styles you can do at home.
I think baking anything in a pan at home is much easier than your traditional
Yeah.
Neapolitan or New York style.
Grandma, right?
Grandma pizza, yeah. Look, grandma pizza was invented by a grandma in her home, stretching pizza into a cookie pan. So that's why pan pizzas at home are, I think they're just the way to go. And also par baking at home is the way to go because you just get a better product. I can't stress that enough.
Oh, right on time. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, that looks perfect. That looks absolutely perfect.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Pop this
take
up.
that out of the pan, get it on a cooling rack, let that cool.
Bottom looks good. Take my word for it.
I believe you.
So while that's cooling, tell me a little bit more about the business. So you're in Long Island. Was it a
So
little
I'm
tricky getting people to understand your product? Because they might have been more used to New York style pizza, grandma, a little more traditional, at least for over
yeah,
there.
yeah, I have people that come in, still call it Sicilian. They're like, "Oh, you have only grandma pizza here. You have only Sicilian." Educating the customer, I think, is the biggest challenge whenever you're trying to introduce something new to a community that has had the exact same thing for eternity.
Yeah.
It's really, Umberto Corteo, who is the owner of Umberto's, kind of started this whole pizza thing on Long Island. And from there, you know there's so many different offsprings of him and the Geno's family and the Branchinellis. So Long Island is kind of like its own pizza scene and pizza bubble. And if you look at every single pizzeria on Long Island, they all are offsprings of the bigger chains like a Mama Teresa's, Umberto's, King Umberto, that kind of thing. So I myself is a Geno's offspring, right? So it's just everybody who has those places, those old guys will claim you as, oh, that's the Geno's guys. Whenever they see me, oh, that's Rob. He came from us. You know what I mean? So
Someone was detected at your front
that's
door.
kind of how Long Island is. So that being said, Grandma, Sicilian, and New York style was always Long Island's, go to. There was never really any deviation from that. Then, they started introducing buffalo chicken, barbecue chicken, chicken bacon ranch. Those are kind of Long Island's, staples. So introducing something new that's so similar to a grandma or Sicilian, that was the biggest challenge. And it's still a challenge till today. I had originally opened up with intentions of just doing Roman style. So when I first opened, I only had Roman style pizza. I didn't have New York style pizza. So it wasn't until about 2 weeks in where so many people just kept coming in and saying, can I just get a regular slice? To where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do New York and I'm going to try to do it better. But my focus was always on the Roman style pizza.
Yeah.
So, to help me with that, to take the weight of the New York style being, because it's so hard to have every single different style of pizza in your place be like top tier, right?
Unless you're like
So
Tony Gemignani, right?
yeah, well, yeah, definitely not Tony. But then I ended up eating Domenico Tolomeo's pizza at Zazzy's or at Keste. And so he's from Long Island too. And so I had approached him about coming in and joining up with Taglio, and so he did. And so he introduced his Neo New York um at Taglio. So we have a really good combo of my Roman style with his New York style. And so, ever since then, the New York goes toe to toe with the Roman style. So
Nice.
the way I look at it is, if I'm gonna do something, I want it to be like the best. I want to strive to be the best. I used to have a full kitchen. I got rid of it because I'm not a chef. So if my food is the same as everyone else's, I don't want it. I want it to be above everybody else. So that's kind of my mentality when I go into any type of business ventures. If you're not striving to be the best, there's no point.
It's kind of like
Um,
how some places, right? They'll have kind of like nominally they'll have vegan or gluten free just for like
yeah.
those one-off customers.
So
Whereas like another approach is like doing the best vegan, doing the best gluten free.
yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. And I found the guy who made my favorite New York style, and I just literally was like, come join me and do this with me together, and he said yes. So um it all worked out. So that should be cool by now. So we could definitely get that looks great.
Let's do a little
Looks
peek.
great.
I mean, look at that.
Beautiful. Cooked perfectly. Cooked
Yeah.
perfectly on the bottom,
Good call on
perfectly on top.
the heat distribution.
Yeah. Typically it's standard with all electric ovens.
So I'm gonna pop this back in the pan, re-oil it, correct?
No, you don't need to re-oil it. You could pop it right back in the pan. You can or you don't have to. You could add a little bit more sauce. It's really up to you. There's
Okay.
plenty of sauce on there, but I would just go down with some grated pecorino right now, and
But,
then
but
you could do
before,
your cheese. Yeah, you could do the cheese on the pecorino on first, and then you could throw your mozzarella on,
I usually like
and bake
finishing
it.
with
That's
pecorino. I
fine
feel like
too.
it helps it pop.
That's fine
So there's
too.
no okay.
Like I
So
said,
we
that I'm not a VPN
yeah.
stickler here. There's
Well,
no
you know,
right or wrong way.
I mean, I'm more curious from like a functional standpoint, right? Like, what's
Yeah,
gonna, how's it gonna affect the bake? Because like, if we bake this without sauce, right, this would have been a completely different crust,
completely different product. Yeah.
and we don't need to go crazy with the cheese on this, right?
No.
Because we're not gonna even bake it that long, from what I understand.
Yeah, no. Should about 3 to 4 minutes.
So how about this,
Probably not.
Masky? Like,
Probably not even.
would it make sense to like cover some of these charred spots, or
Yeah,
maybe next
yeah.
to it?
Actually, yeah. So you could put a cheese piece right on top of the charred spots, and also you could go right up to the edge with the cheese because typically with Roman style pizza, you're selling it by the slice,
Mhm.
and you want every slice to be same amount of cheese, same everything. So I like to say, like, when people come in and ask for a corner, I'm like, there really is no corner. You're like, I want all my slices to be
To
the
be
same.
the same. Okay, let me do that. Let me go corners here. You like buffalo chicken?
You know what? It's one of my favorites, man. I grew up on Long Island, so buffalo chicken is also one of my best sellers at the pizzeria. So I can't knock buffalo chicken. It's one of my favorites. Um, so yeah, man. I mean, I actually a lot of my friends in Rome, they call me and ask me how to make buffalo chicken. Um,
Oh,
so like it's getting popular over there.
oh
I
boy.
had some big food influencer or model that came from Italy, and I guess she has family on Long Island. I didn't see her when she came in. She's got like 1 million followers, and she's Italian. She came in with her family and ordered a buffalo chicken pizza and posted it on her page. And
Lost all her followers.
she's
No.
no, she like people were like going crazy over it, and she's like, "This is Long Island, New York, buffalo chicken, Roman style pizza," and I can't tell if they were making fun of me or it was a good thing,
Hey
but
man, free publicity.
she said she loved it, so
I'm sorry, you gotta be lying if you don't love it.
yeah, that dude. If you don't like buffalo chicken pizza, there's something wrong with you.
All right. How much time in the oven with this?
You could set it for 3 minutes. Check it
Three.
after two. Check it after two, and just it's really up to you how much you want it to bake and melt.
What are your top sellers besides buffalo chicken?
So, besides regular and pepperoni, I have buffalo chicken, barbecue chicken, um, the Diabla sells really, really well, which is spicy sopressata, Calabrian chili peppers, and hot honey. That one does well. The potato rosemary does really well, which is traditional Roman style pizza that we got written up about a couple times in
Very nice.
Newsday. So that one's a good seller. Um,
Besides the margarita, what do you think for the home pizza maker? What's like a pretty easy, approachable?
Topping
Yeah,
or just in general.
yeah, approachable
Anything,
topping.
honestly, anything you really like. You could do fresh veggies. Um, I you can make meatballs. You can do anything with this pizza. That's the beauty of this pizza is there's no topping that's taboo. Like even pineapple. Like people are putting. I remember when I took the class with Massimiliano the first time, he made a pineapple pizza, and I was just like, I was like a little weirded out for a
Blowing money
guy
back.
from Italy to make a
Yeah,
pineapple pizza, but it was really good. He did it was pineapple, ham, gorgonzola cheese, white onion, and barbecue sauce, and it was really, really, really good. But
sure.
yeah, it was like a gorgonzola cream. It was really, really good, and but I was just shocked at that. So that's what I mean when there's no topping that's really taboo with this. So don't be scared to get crazy with it.
Just 2 minutes.
I wonder how many people are watching us on YouTube.
That's where we are right now. Another minute. What do you think?
Um, Honestly, man, it looks pretty good. I would cut it right there. If you want to throw it in another minute, that's up to you.
I'm gonna another minute just because I see some moisture
Yeah.
and I think I'll
Okay.
kinda
Yeah,
take care of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
What's it actually?
Nice. That's Shamoke.
So, any ideas for a new location, perhaps, for Taglio?
Working on it right now. Looking. In for the next location, I want like something perfect, like a perfect situation in a shopping center. Um, my location is not the best. But I have great walking traffic. I'm right next to a hospital. I'm right next to a train station. So I have like a built-in business with that. But I would like to go into a more high-end neighborhood, more affluent, where people are more adventurous with their food. Um, Obviously, Manhattan, Brooklyn, people are very adventurous with their food. Long Island,
Right.
people are a little bit more conservative. So I need to
They
find a
want what they know.
neighborhood. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I need to find a neighborhood that is more adventurous with their food.
All right. There. I think now. I got a little char on the mozzarella.
That looks perfect.
Yeah.
So pop that out onto a cooling rack.
Here.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm hungry now. I didn't eat dinner yet. How's the crisp on it? Let's hear you crack. Let's hear you crack the corner.
Hear it? It's hot.
It's hot. All right, don't
You
burn
heard
your
that, right?
fingers. Yeah, I hear it. So yeah, man, you could cut this. In this case, you could cut this into 6, 8 slices, whatever you prefer. Nice, nice. Too big
Yeah.
on that sucker.
Oil.
What kind of oil is that?
This is Ruby Rosa olive oil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Get some basil on there. That's all I got right now.
You are a master. You are a master, my friend.
Thank you.
So yeah, so you could just cut it up anyway. You could do 6, you could do 8. It's really up to you. I would just go center. I would just go
half.
cut it in half. Yeah.
You hearing it?
I'm hearing it, man. That is crispy perfection.
Could have done it a little more straight, but
it's all right, man. You're gonna eat it.
The steam is like killing me.
It's all going to the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a little hard to cut when it's hot.
So then I would just cut down the center after.
Yeah, cut down the center, and that'll give you your 8 slices. Uh-oh.
You didn't see that. You didn't see that.
Man down.
I'm gonna cut right here.
That's it. Let's see. Do we have some crumb structure there?
We got it's over there. This guy. How's that look?
How we looking? Good. Looks good to me, my man.
A little more over here. There we go.
What? That looks great. The question is, Serhan, are we gonna get a shot of you shoving this in your face?
Off camera.
Oh my God, that crunch. See, that's what Roman pizza's all about. That crunch, man. Bottom's cooked perfectly. Man, I gotta get me an uni volt. That thing
They're
cooked
good, man.
perfect.
I am an ambassador, but let me tell you, man, it's you need Neapolitan with this thing. I've done Roman,
You're an ambassador.
Sicilian,
Tell them to
Detroit.
send me one. I'm gonna send me one. We're gonna crank out some Romans in there.
Busy eating though, so.
Yeah. No, that thing is crunchy, man. You did a great job on that.
Well, I have a lot of help with guidance, knowing what to do, right?
I mean, look, I really didn't help you too much, but that looks great, man. So,
Any additional tips for?
Honestly, I kind of laid it all out there. If you want, you guys could follow me on Instagram at Rob Cervoni. You can follow the pizzeria at Taglio Pizza. Make sure to like and subscribe this.
Yes, please.
Because
Pizza
maybe
Club.
I'll be back. You never know. We'll see what happens.
Get some more tips.
But,
See his
but
world
I
famous
definitely-
buffalo chicken.
Yeah, I definitely post a bunch of tips and tricks videos on my Instagram, whether it be stretching or dough or fermentation. So I'm doing a lot of that, and I'm also doing a new series called Mystery Item. So someone brings me a mystery item, and then I make a pizza with it. So it's a lot of fun. But definitely, if you're looking to learn more about Roman style pizza, the best way to start is follow my Instagram. The other thing is I do offer consulting and pizza making classes.
Very
So me and Massimiliano have a class coming up at the end of January if you want to look into that. We also every other month we do a master class either at Taglio or up in Brewster at Fiero, which is a oven importer. So that's the best way to learn and to find out more. And if you just want to shoot me a message or have any questions, my DMs are always open.
Awesome. We have a couple more minutes. Can we do
Oh, I didn't know
some more
that.
questions? Yeah, or
Yeah.
it's like
No, I
five
didn't
more
know that.
minutes. Let me do like
All right,
a
shoot.
lightning round questions
Go
for the
fire.
pizza maker. Who is a big inspiration for you in pizza making world right now?
In the
Doesn't have
pizza
to be
making
like
world.
yeah, pizza making world and non-pizza making.
My dad in non-pizza making, but that's a different story. The in the pizza making world right now, that's a tough question, man, because there's so many incredible pizza makers that I look up to. Um, and I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of them and to listen to their knowledge and everything. In the United States right now, Lars Smith, who is one of my students with pizza, I just think what he does is like with the seasonal vegetables and he does a lot of incredible things, and he's really passionate about pizza. I mean, he's someone I look up to in the pizza world right now, and he's a good friend of mine. Um, that's in the United States. In Europe, man, it's tough to not say like Gabriele Bonci, or even my mentor Massimiliano. I mean, just Bonci really put Roman style pizza on the map, and he does some incredible stuff with it. Another person in the United States is Ann Kim. She was one of the judges when I was on Chopped. But
That's right. That's right.
yeah, but I mean, I wasn't too familiar with her before that. Besides watching her Netflix documentary, but she does some crazy stuff with pizza, and like it's incredible. I gotta get to her places soon. Um, but yeah, I mean, inspiration in pizza, those are up there. I could go on and name so many people, but off the top of my head, those are three people
There's a
that
lot. Yeah, and we're
yeah.
fortunate, right? We learn from each
Yeah,
other and
yeah.
we
And
share
that's
our
the thing is
knowledge.
like we're fortunate to like I'm able to just send these people messages and they'll respond.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of the pizza world is that if you just have the balls to reach out to them, 90% chance they're going to respond, you
yeah,
know? And it's always nice to reach out to people and then they know who you are and I'm like, "Whoa, that's weird." But that's the beauty of this pizza world thing is everybody knows each other and we're all willing to help.
yeah. It's great, and what is it? Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Cool, man. Well, thank you again. This was
All right.
awesome. Because it's great pizza you made here.
Thank you,
I
man.
guess through
That you made that. That's all you,
I
bro. It looks great.
like it in Ratatouille with the
Yeah.
chef. This is fun, man. This is just I just see it as me hanging out with you and just
Yeah, yeah,
shooting the
no.
breeze.
It
So
was it was fun. It was fun.
yeah, we want to thank everyone for joining. Again, please like, subscribe, follow Pizza Club on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, whatever. Um, keep you updated on future YouTube lives. We'll make pizza together again, and just want to thank Rob once more for
Thanks,
joining us on our
guys.
first
Thanks everybody
inaugural YouTube
watching.
live.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everybody watching it. Like I said, reach out to me. Any questions you have. Um, Contrary to popular belief, I'm not an asshole. So, reach out.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. I'm gonna go finish this.
All right, you got